I am Sister Genevieve PPT, Auntie Jenny to some, Plain Jen to others. And this year, 2014, I turn 90. As you see, I still enjoy a glass of beer and hope to do so for many more years. I was born in 1924, the sixth child of my parents, Anthony and Ludwina PPT. They were devout and God-fearing. Papa worked as a bank clerk. Mama stitched, did needlework and embroidery from home. I often think I get my craft and design skills from her. She was a good mother to us, her 9 children. 2 of her daughters, my sister Lucy and I, joined the same congregation, the Franciscan Missionaries of Mary. Lucy took my mother's and my sister's name, Sister Ludwina Zita. In this picture, taken many years later, you can see Lucy to the left and I seated. Zita, our younger sister, stands behind Lucy, and Maggie, my senior, behind me. In the center, seated is Beryl, our youngest sister, a sickly girl. Standing behind Beryl is my niece, Maria. This family picture, taken in 1948, gives you the whole family, except Brother Louis, who had died, and me, as I had left home already 5 years before. My mum, Ludwina, in front, wears the 9-yard red sari with the typical design of all Catholic East Indian women. Life at home in Catholic Bandra was secure and happy. We were parishioners of St. Andrew's, the mother church of all Bandra, built by the Portuguese Jesuits in 1616. I was baptized here on January 3rd, 1925. After I matriculated in 1941, I opted to join the FMM, wanting to be a missionary in distant lands. My parents refused me permission, but I persisted. Finally, they relented, thinking, she'll come back. But I didn't. Our novitiate was first in Coimbatore and then in Colombo, Sri Lanka, where I made my first profession in 1946. I was now Sister Mary of St. Leonis. However, most of the time, I kept poor health and even had an operation. Finally, on the feast of St. Joseph, March 1949, I made my final profession at St. Anthony's Home, Bombay. I was just 25. As a young sister, I was missioned to Pakistan, where I qualified as a teacher and appointed headmistress of the primary at St. Lawrence, Karachi. And that's how it was, as a teacher and principals in our schools. Karachi, Hyderabad, Sindh, Layalpur, Rawalpindi. They were the best years of my life, a life devoted to the care of children and young women, teaching them to think and to choose wisely, giving them practical skills for living, witnessing to our own values of dedicated service. In 1968, I was sent for catechetics to the East Asian Pastoral Institute, Manila, run by the Jesuits. It was a diverse community, people from all over East Asia. Then, for 2 years, I lived in Singapore, involved in catechetics, a time rich in pastoral experience. It was here that we heard of the sudden death of Thomas Merton in Bangkok. The news shocked us all. I had come to love and respect him ever since I read his autobiography, The 7-Story Mountain, one of the great classics of our century. I returned to Pakistan, but the times were bad. Islamic fundamentalism threatened us all. I chose to return to India. After working in Pakistan for 37 years, the transition to Indian citizenship was difficult. It was 1984, and I was sent to Stella Maris College, Chennai. For 8 years, I was a stateless person, and the government rules forbade me to teach. So, I worked informally in Shanti Bhavan on the campus of Stella Maris for 24 years, teaching dropouts tailoring and handicraft. I was doing what I always loved, and the girls knew it. We grew very fond of each other, my girls and I. The sisters at Stella Maris were very loving. They made me feel at home. It was here that I celebrated my Diamond Jubilee, 60 years in the FMM. And every birthday was an occasion for much warmth and festivity. In 2006, I lost my elder sister Maggie, whom I loved deeply. She was the last link to our family, and her death left me heartbroken. My younger brother Joe, now deceased, had migrated to Perth, Australia years ago with Rita, his wife, and Maria and Andre Paul, their 2 children. They invited me to visit. So, in 2008, I was a guest of Joe's wife Rita and their 2 children, Maria and Andre's wife Naomi, and their little son Samuel. It was a beautiful time. I felt 80 years young. Maria, my young niece, enjoyed taking me places. We traveled all the way to a viewing point for the southern Indian Ocean, as cold and windy a place as you will ever see. And yes, I imagined I could even see the continent of Antarctica far away in the distance, and penguins dancing on the ice. We, Dakunas, are a large and noisy family. Some of these in the photo are the children of another brother, Hilary, and his wife Audrey, both also deceased. After all happy families are alike. What does the psalmist say? I will take a cup of thanksgiving and call upon the Lord. Well, my entire life has been one of thanksgiving for all that I have received. I always believe, keep a smiling face and everyone will follow you. My life has had its ups and downs. Who hasn't? And I never know what the good Lord has in store for me. But this I know, and this I sing. God loves a cheerful giver, so I give him all I can.